Calling all car cells itself, driving you up the wall-to-wall, paid per purse on strings of spaghetti hollandaise. 2 tickets to the footbat and bawl your eyes out of their socket, ready for more or less what you expected. Let's crack open a couple of soups, you sir. I love that Python sketch I did on my football folder, which is a sort of foot that folds balls. Josh Widdicombe and Widdicombe's too much and such vulgar on then. I'll have a pint of James A. Custermine's back to when comedians were actually funny, which was like, never. Easy for me to say is that Michael Mack entirely to blame for the decline Donnelly and Ant McPartlin ways, and Deck teams up with Ant Middleton, and Ant teams up with a rotting badger's corpse. Hello, and welcome to another episode of what some people are calling my magnum opus, and that is Fugcast. It's the absurdist comedy podcast which is written and performed by me, Sam Langley, and every time I write another episode, I think to myself, this is surely the greatest of all absurdist comedy podcast episodes. I will surely become rich. Yes, and oh so famous. Oh yes. And then I record it and I release it and bathe in the lukewarmth. One day, dear listeners, everyone will realise that I'm a genius and I will be invited onto Joe Rogan's and The One Show and Newsnight and Springwatch and Cashews in the Attic and the Great British Bake Off. Classic lineup of Paul Hollywood, Doc from EastEnders, and that bloke with the big eyes and the fat arse, or ass if you are American or from up north, or maybe you have an RP accent, but for some reason you say ass instead of arse. I can't think of what that reason might be. Maybe you think you sound too posh saying arse, and you would prefer to sound like a cunt instead. Meow. It's a bit spicy so far, don't you think it is? Already I've mentioned some famous people and implied that they are cunts, and then I've taken a pop at people who say ass instead of arse. And this is okay when you make a podcast that around 40 people listen to. Of course. But what when I am world famous and appear on Joe Rogan's The One Show, Springwatch, the Great British Bake Off with classic lineup of Paul Hollywood's got lovely twinkly eyes, hasn't he, and a big safe pair of hands. And I appreciate that if you are an American, you're thinking, what's Paul Hollywood? Is he like where you make superhero movies or what? But did you know that all those Marvel movies are made in England? It's true. Apparently it's too expensive to do in America, so they actually film the actual films in the United Kingdom. I mean, it surely doesn't matter where they're filmed, because they're about 90% CGI, aren't they? Which is great, because I love CGI, because you can make anything happen like purple energy shoot out of your hands, or green energy shoot out of your hands, or red energy shoot out of your hands, or yellow energy shoot out of your hands, or orange energy shoot out of your hands, or blue energy shoot out of your hands, or pink. That's right. This episode of Fugcast is sponsored by me. That's right. Yay! I donated money to myself so that I could spend time writing, recording, and producing this actual podcast. But where did I get the money to do that? Why, from my future business self, of course I did. He pays me pretty nicely, thank you. And don't ask me where he gets the money. Is this bit clever? I feel like it is, but I'm not sure why.
Ha 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 ha. Hi there, bud. How's it been going since last day?
Not too bad.
Oh, really?
I've been doing the...
Sorry, hang on. I've got to take this call. It is important. Right. Hello? Oh, yes. Hello there, matey. Yes. Oh, yes. Hang on, I just bumped into Stuart. That is right. Stuart from next door. Yes. Okay, I will. Yeah, bye. Sorry about that. Was Stuart my other neighbour anyway? Nice to see you, Stuart. I've got to get back into my house now because I want to do that.
Okay, yeah, actually,
I've been listening to a lot of philosophy podcasts recently, which I think makes me seem quite clever and interesting, doesn't it? Of course, I don't have a clue what they are speaking of, but I like the sound of brainy people talking. They tend to have sharp nasal voices and sharp features of the face. That is, if they are prickly, rational, logical, reductionist materialists by nature. Thinkers who are more on the mystical, holistic, gooey side of things tend to have droopy eyes and a big, red bottom lip. And when they speak, it sounds like they're eating a sandwich at the same time, which they usually are. I like to think of myself as something of a philosopher, and I like to bollock on to man in pub about the nature of reality and what is consciousness and so on, and he look at me blankly and open his mouth and a peanut falls out and I catch it and eat it. So yes, I like big ideas, but no one I know likes to hear me talk about my big ideas. My friends prefer to talk of football, that is a game where you have to kick a ball into a net, but wait because there is a man protecting the net. Or they like to talk of news, which is about people in grey suits saying boring things. Or they talk about holidays, which are all set in Europe and involve wonderful meals that are very reasonably priced and charming locals who scold you for being English. My wife liked to talk about practical matters like, why do I keep pissing in the sink in the sink instead of the toilet? And why do I shit in the garden and bury it like a cat? And I say, that was the cat, not me. Oh no, hang on, it was me. And I don't know why I did it. Does that make it better or worse? Is it equally inexcusable if you act on a momentary whim rather than carefully planning to shit in the garden? Sorry, I know there's at least several listeners who don't like it when things get lavatorial. And for my American listeners, lavatorial means referring to toilets and their use. Toilet is another word for bathroom.
Mes o ystifosol is cabod no gabod, systex a pif.
Is your GUBS system tired of the same old metaspim? Is your non-dual image isolator running out of GUBS? Maybe it's time to rethink. Introducing Rethink, the new unlimited soft strand redistribution system from Wickel and Glorby Spencer Michael St. Glorb. Seamless flow. Float into a new realm. Control. You decide on which sans serif font. Redistribute all your old data maps. It's time to rethink time. Any non-dual GUBS will appear completed before you can say, wink the GUBS. But don't take my word for it.
I'm a man in my mid-40s and I found rethinking my every move to be time-consuming and oh so stressful. Now I simply wink goodbye to my old metaspim and wink, oh hello, to Rethink.
Before I chose Rethink, I was drowning in a sea of GUBS. I was so stressed that I couldn't rethink my every move. Now all I do is wink, wait, and hey presto, all my documents are in sans serif font.
Here's a question. Do you like stand-up comedy? Do you like it when a comedian stand on stage and talk about things they've noticed that happen? I do, I love it so, but only like around 3 stand-up comedians, and they are Max Miller, Max Wall, and Max Bygraves. I like Max Miller because he pretends his pants are stuck up his arse. That gets me every time. And Max Wall when he sticks to the wall like a piece of gum. And Max Bygraves is great when he sings his song about a teapot made of rotting meat. They don't make 'em like that anymore, boy. And what have you got now? Ross Noble? No thanks. Jonathan Ross? Not funny. Paul Ross? I don't even know if I've heard of him. What's that? Female comedians? Don't be daft. Name some. Sue Perkins? Okay, you've got me there. She is hilarious when she does that bit about her name sounding like shoe, and she says, "What am I, a shoe or what?" That was good. Who else is there these days? You've got Jimmy Carr, who is tipped to be the new host of Top Gear, and his fellow presenters will be Alan Carr and Susan's steering wheel. That's my own little joke there. That's right, I can do stand-up, and I do sometimes, mostly in front of the bathroom mirror. The full-length one, and I do it in the nude, and I play the pseudineck. I mean, the ordinateness. That was a typing error. It's so hard to type in gloves, but it's cold out in the garden where I write, because my wife's working from home today, and I pretended I was going to work and then jumped over my neighbour's wall and crept into our garden, and now I'm lying underneath the kids' trampoline with my notebook and pencil, and I'm just hoping she doesn't come outside. I can see that my neighbour Stuart is doing the same thing, and so is my neighbour on the other side, who is also called Stuart, and so is my neighbour but one, who is also called Stuart, and so is my neighbour but one on the other side, who is called Matt. This is a perfect example of absurdist comedy. It is absolutely absurd to imagine all different guys called Stuart and one called Matt hiding in gardens writing material for podcast. And what a funny idea that is. Please excuse me while I have a little chuckle at that idea that I came up with the help of my neighbour Stuart and my other neighbour Stuart and my neighbour but one Stuart, but not my other neighbour but one Matt. Yes, he's a doctor. Dr. Matt, I call him. And he's not that friendly to me. I say, "Morning, Dr. Matt," and he gives me a sort of upside-down smile and doesn't say anything. I'm pretty sure he's called Matt, and I'm also pretty sure he's a doctor, but I could be wrong. Anyway, if I am wrong, he could simply correct me. He doesn't have to give me an upside-down smile and an upside-down thumbs up. Doesn't bother me, though. I tend to give him the universal "I'm sliding a banana into my mouth" sign. Because I always carry a bunch of bananas with me, and maybe he would like one to cheer him up, because bananas contain tryptophan, which the body converts into serotonin. Think about it. Have you ever seen a sad person eating a banana? Think about it. Have you ever seen a sad person eating a banana? Think about it. Have you ever seen a sad person eating a banana?
No, but seriously, my arms are so short. Have you seen them? Look how short they are. It's ridiculous. That's why I don't punch up. I can't. My arms are too short.
In the 90s, you had Chris Evans and Zoe bawled her eyes out when Chris Ball proposed to her via fax. Yes, her husband also had the surname Ball, and he was also a man that looked and sounded just like Chris Evans. So much so that he would often stand in for Chris Evans at charity events and award ceremonies. As I said just now, he looked identical to Chris Evans and sounded identical to Chris Evans. What he lacked, however, was Chris Evans' zany personality. And Chris Evans' childlike enthusiasm and his madcap ideas and his appreciation for Danny Baker. And so when Danny Baker spotted him at awards ceremony, he went up and said, "Hey Chris, it is I, Danny Baker, your good friend. Do you remember that time we threw a load of jelly out of the window? And what about that time we dropped a TV into a bath of jelly?" And Chris Ball looked him up and down and made a tutting sound. And Danny Baker went, "Oh," and walked away looking so sad. And anyway, this is exactly the sort of thing that the real Chris Evans would do to him to keep him on his toes. He'd be dead friendly 1 minute and pretend he didn't know him the next. And pretend he didn't know him if he was surrounded by cool 90s Britpop.
My arms are so short, right? Yeah, no, listen. My arms are so short that I can't pick my nose. Yeah, and there's loads of bogies in there. So Jane has to pick my nose for me. No, listen, she does. And I say deeper. That's it. Oh, hang on, you missed one.
Sometimes I get chatting to other dishevelled dads on the school run. No, I don't mean that we are doing a sponsored run to raise money for school, or that we are running around a school, or running the school like being a headmaster, or racing with the actual school building. I would win that race, though. No, I mean in the morning when parents take their kids to school. That kind of school run. Anyway, yes, I often chat to other parents or passers-by, or anyone that catches my eyeball, which is a ball that I always carry with me that looks like an eyeball. It's about the size of an eyeball also, and is always wet like a real eye because I spray it with water that I have in a little spray bottle in my coat pocket. And I say, "Catch!" and the person catches it and then goes, "Ah, it's an eye!" And I have one of my eyes closed with ketchup smeared around it, of course. Oh, look, I've gone off on a tangent again. No, look right. No, look right. That's what Ricky Gervais says, isn't it? He's like, "No, look right," and the audience laugh and clap like crazy. Anyway, yes, okay, so when I'm chatting to other dads, not mums, no, look right, if my wife sees me chatting to mums on the school run, she'll go mental, and I don't want to sleep on the sofa. Even though it is very comfortable and I won't be woken up by her snoring. No, look, right? No, seriously, when I chat to other dads, they say, "What kind of podcast do you make?" Because obviously all dads make some sort of podcast these days. Most of them are about sport or loft conversions. And I say, "Oh, I make a sort of absurdist comedy podcast." And they say, "Oh, do you mean absurdist in a philosophical sense, in the vein of, say, Albert Camus? Do you think that life is essentially meaningless and that all attempts to find meaning are fruitless?" And I don't hear what they say because I'm finding my podcast on Spotify for them. And I say, "Look, it's this one. That's a picture of me there. Shall I send it to you?" And they politely say yes. And then the next time I see them on the school run, they don't mention my podcast at all. And one of two things have probably happened. Either they didn't listen to it, or they did and didn't like it. I guess there's a third option maybe, that they loved it but instantly forgot about it after it finished. When Zoe Ball from the 90's first met Michael Ball, the singer, she said, "Hi there, we have the same surname. Did you notice that we do?" And Michael Ball said, "Oh right, yes, you're Johnny Briggs's daughter, aren't you?" And she said, "No, I'm Zoe Ball, daughter of TV's Johnny Ball." And then Michael Ball said, "Oh right, that is strange, because I'm actually called Michael Briggs in real life. Michael Ball is my stage name. And also, you look exactly like Johnny Briggs, you know, from that 80's kids show." And Zoe Ball said, "Come on, mate, don't be a cunt."
Look, right! No, right! So yeah! Look, right! No, right! So yeah! Look, right! My arms are so short that I can't wipe my own arse. So yeah, no, right, Jane has to wipe it for me. And I say, "That's it, a bit deeper. Hang on, you missed a bit."
Today's podcast is sponsored by Glorby's Sandwiches, and I've got to tell you, these are some good sandwiches. At first, I was sceptical that they would be good, but then I ate one, and it was fairly nice. And now I only eat Glorby's sandwiches for every meal. They come in 3 different flavours of original, spicy and turkey. I like the turkey one a lot, but then I also like the spicy one, and original is good too. Glorby makes them himself in his very own kitchen, and I go and pick them up at his house. All being well, he will hear me knocking and ringing the doorbell over his loud drum and bass music that he listens to all of the time. And if he does hear me, then he will simply open the door and I will go in and sit in his sitting room while he makes me the sandwich I would like. His old dad is always in the sitting room watching TV, and I don't mind sitting with him for however long it takes. He's not that friendly and changes the channel constantly, but I don't mind as long as I get my delicious sandwich, which 9 times out of 10 happens. I've been there 10 times, you see, and one of those times I waited over 2 hours, and when I went into the kitchen to see why it was taking so long, I found Glorby looking at his smartphone device.
Are you a middle-aged man that wake up in the night to go for a wee? You are? Well, that's fine, and it's perfectly normal for a man your age with an enlarged prostate. How about if you wake up in the night because you need a poo? Well, that's just bad timing, dude. What you got to do is do your business in the morning, as soon as you get up. That's what I do. And I almost hardly ever wake up in the night needing a poo. And if I do, that's okay. I just put on my special headphones, go up to toilet, sit down and listen to my favourite podcast, which is about the best sandwiches. And it makes me so hungry. So I probably go downstairs and make myself a massive turkey sandwich. And what do you think? That I can go back to sleep after that sandwich? Yes, I can. And I then dream of turkey sandwiches. And did you know that my favourite all-time sandwich flavour is tuna?
You know what it's like when you've eaten too much fromage frais? And it comes out of your nose holes and out of your tear ducts and you're in the train station and everyone thinks you're crying. And you say, no, I'm not crying. I've just eaten too much fromage frais. But they don't understand you because your mouth is full of fromage frais.
Do you remember the 2010s? Man, they were mad, weren't they? You had films like Avengers Infinity War and Captain America Civil War, and you had bands like Mumford & Sons, One Direction. And how about the fashion, guys? Skinny jeans? Oh my God. And for food, there was smashed avocado on sourdough and craft ale. Without a doubt, the most significant invention of the 21st century so far has been the man bun. Oh, hang on, you say. Do you mean the hairstyle worn by hip young man in cafe that is also a bakery that sells really great sourdough? Or do you mean, this is still you talking, do you mean the bun that is shaped like a man and is sold in Greggs? And imagine if that man-shaped bun was struck by lightning and suddenly became conscious, and it said, "Ah, what is going on?" Because maybe one of the pasty-faced youths behind the counter had plucked out his raised eyes, so he didn't have any eyes. Yeah, anyway, I'm writing this on my laptop in a hip cafe/bakery, and a young man bun guy has just brought me my oat milk decaf latte and smashed avocado on sourdough, so I better go.
Can you say Nana?
Dando.
Can you say banana?
Gada.
Can you say poopy?
Googie.
Oh no, you stinky little man.
I watched Ricky Gervais's new special, and boy did I find it so funny, shocking, and oh so clever. He says what he thinks, and that is refreshing for me. It didn't actually make me laugh, or even smile, but I still really liked it. What I liked the most is his new laugh, that he does like this. And his arms are so short, like this. And so maybe, if I do a laugh like this, and retract my arms into my body, like this, I will be a huge success.
Well, hello there. Have you ever heard the story of the upside-down lizard? No, not the upside-down lizard. I said lizard, as in the Lizard of Oz. You may have thought that I said lizard, and that is because I have an unusual speech impediment. Yes, all words that begin with W I say with an L directly afterwards. Why that should happen is not something I can easily answer. I should just mention that all words beginning with C I pronounce with an added F. Anyway, yes, the story of the upside-down lizard is a cautionary tale about an ordinary man called the name William, who ran a fake shop, and of course, one day he was gfutting into a nice chfock. One day he was gfutting into a nice chfock flit fake, and he wasn't paying proper attention, and he gfut off his favourite finger. Ouch! But how did he become the famous upside-down lizard, I hear you cry? Yes, well, I think that had something to do with radiation.
Upside-down wizard, upside-down wizard, upside-down wizard, upside-down wizard.
Hello! Once again, there it is. I, the upside-down wizard here, to tell you about my new book of magic spells that I've written, and is available as an ebook in PDF form on my website. How you get to there is type in https://www.theupside-downwizard.co.uk, and hey pesto, you'll find that you arrived at my website, which of course is upside down. So you'll have to turn your laptop upside down, or your phone. But the trouble is, if you turn your phone upside down, the screen will adjust to the right way up. So what can you do? Maybe you can put it on the floor and look at it from the other side? Yes, that could work, but oh no. Because although the main page is upside down, the menu bar isn't. So round you go to the other side to read the menu bar and, it appears to be complete gobbledygook. And that's because it's all backwards. Yes. So have you got a mirror? You have? Excellent. Look at it in the mirror and you'll see the menu options, which are Home, About Me, Events and Shop. Now, go to the shop page and you'll hopefully find my ebook in PDF form. Can you find it? No, you can't, because all the shop items are the same colour as the web page background. Well, nearly. So if you change the brightness on your phone display settings, or laptop settings, or desktop settings, then you might be able to see my ebook. And if you click on it, that will take you to Amazon, where you can buy it. Or you could just find it on Amazon. It's called Magic Spells by TCBFXQ Grum, which is my actual name. Okay, cheerio for now. Take care. Bye.
Have you had your hair cut? It looks amazing. You're amazing.
And thanks, you're amazing. I wish I had your hair.
My hair? No way. My hair is moss, and my head is like a small stone, so it looks like a mossy stone.
No, seriously, it looks amazing. I wish I had your hair. My hair looks like an old wet bath mat, and my head looked like the bathroom floor.
Yeah, that's what I like about it, though. And also your dress is so beautiful. Where did you get it?
From the bathroom. It is our old shower curtain.
No way. Well, it looks so nice.
Not as nice as your dress. What is that, mud?
Yes, it's made of mud of garden.
Well, I love it, and I think we both deserve some chocolate and also cake.
No,
Nom 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 nom.
And hot choco?
Yeah, go on then.
I call my dad the coconut pharaoh because he lives in a pyramid made from coconut shells, and he calls me the custard queen because I make the best custard of all. And he wants me to add desiccated coconut to it, but I say no, my custard is traditional custard made with custard powder and water, and it fills the moat around my meringue castle. Hang on, are you imagining that I'm a sort of pudding woman that lives in an actual meringue castle surrounded by custard, and my guards are sort of raspberry guys with actual raspberries for helmets and licorice swords and biscuit shields? No, my meringue castle is real enough, but of course it is a small one that my dolls live in. And my dad's pyramid is only 3 inches high, and how does he live in it? And that is because he is only 1 inches high. And so I know what you're thinking. There's not much room for him if his house is 3 times bigger than him. But he likes it and finds it so cosy. I watched the Take That documentary, the new one on Netflix, and it was so good. And so I tried to recreate it here.
You got some mashed potato behind your ear there, lad?
No, I haven't.
You have now?
Get off. He's a bit of a big bully, or a little bully, really. I mean, I love the guy, but he's a bit of a fucker.
What you drawing there, lad?
It's a card for me mum.
She's a big mashed potato fan, is she?
No. What do you mean?
She is now.
Oh, you've ruined me card. Sometimes he goes too far, like when he filled my pencil case with mash. I was dead angry then.
I'm known as a bit of a practical joker. Yeah, you could say that. It's only mash, though. No real harm done.
He's always doing pranks on us, but only mashed potato-based ones.
Has anyone seen my wellies?
They're right there, lad. Here you go.
Thanks. Oh, what? They're full of mashed potato. I don't know where he kept all the mash, to be honest. Eventually, I had enough. I said, sorry guys, I'm leaving.
When Darren left, we were all devastated.
I was sad when Darren left. Really, I had all this mash and I didn't know what to do with it. But then I had a good idea.
He started making a mashed potato house.
When the members of Take That were called Gary, Howard, Jason, Mark and Darren got back together and went into the studio in New York City, they recorded some excellent songs. The best song by far was Mashed Potato House Man, that was inspired by the mashed potato house that Gary made and lived in for 7 months. During his 7-month stay in the potato house, Gary didn't leave the house not once. Why would he, when he had all the mashed potato he could eat for 7 months? And that's the only reason he moved back to his actual massive house, because he had eaten his potato house. And anyway, yes, of course, he wrote the music, but he generously let Darren come up with a V-small amount of words, 3 to be exact, and they were Mash Potato Man.
Mashed potato man, he lives in a mashed potato house, and he's eating the house, oh yeah, because he loves potato, and his favorite kind of potato is mash.
Yeah, they were great, I loved them. You had Gary, he was the cross-eyed bully one. Then you had Mark, he was the cute one. Jason, he was the nice one. Howard, he was the grumpy one. And Darren, he was the thick one. Well, the thickest.
So far, this episode has been about the 90s, Take That, and stand-up comedy. Well, bits of it have been about those things. The other bits are bits of pithy bits that I collected in my mind like a sieve. And where is the juice? Where is that sweet and sour juicy material? Well, that is the bits I mentioned just now of 90s Take That and stand-up comedy. Those are the good bits. In 1969, Jeffrey Armstrong set foot in his neighbour's garden and he trod on a squeaky dog toy, and this alerted his neighbour Buzz, who was called like that because he always made a buzzing sound, and he dressed like a bee, and maybe he was a bee, I don't know. And anyway, he flew at Jeffrey and buzzed right in his face, and Jeffrey fell over backwards into Buzz's flower bed. That is right, he slept outside in a bed made of wholemeal spelt flour.
Fugcast. Oh yes, it is my favourite of all the absurdist comedy podcasts that exist.
In 1972, Neil Aldrin took his first stepson's toy car park apart, and he couldn't put it back together. And his first stepson, called the name of Chivers, was very and his first stepson, called the name of Chivers, was very angry. And also, I should mention that he was the same age as Neil Aldrin, whose wife was far older than he. And oh yes, his stepson, Chivers, was built like a brick shithouse, and he punched Neil Aldrin very hard in the mouth, and that made him see stars. Gaz was and is the biz when it comes to jazz piano. He's so good that he can play some snazzy jazz with just one hand whilst he rolls a cigarette with the other hand and gives it to Howard. And Howard is a great jazz singer, and he sings with a fag in his mouth always. And Mark Owen does a scat bass line using his actual voice. I'll be honest with you, I started writing this only because I liked the rhyming at the beginning, and then it sort of went from there, really. I'm so proud because my daughter's got a certificate for being the most conventional student in her class. Yay! And she's got a prize also, which is a big amorphous lump of plastic covered in sugar. Wicked!
What's Fraser cooking tonight?
Oh, he's cooking one of his famous soups.
Classic Fraser. What sort of soup?
Dunno, I'll send him a message.
I can't wait to find out.
Potato soup, apparently.
Sounds so nice.
Yes, I'm really looking forward to it.
Do you watch TV at the same time as eating?
Yep, always probably stick on some old episodes of Frasier, I reckon. Frasier loves Frasier. It's his favourite 90s sitcom.
Is that because he's called Frasier?
No, he just likes it.
Oh, okay.
Some people say, "Hey Simon, have you written anything good in your notebook lately?" And I say, "Scratch and sniff my arse, not ass in assec me another Christianian soup spread your head wings and fly the see-through flagstone headspread. I'm hanging out with old in with the new age appropriate contents of my head's bigger than yours sincerely."
Great! This is great stuff. It is so surreal.
It's market day in the old village square. The pear maiden's there with her barrow of pears. So would you care for a nice juicy pear? Madam, this pear really matches your hair. No, thank you, pear maiden, I must declare. that my husband and I are allergic to pear. We're going to sample the peachmonger's wares. His peaches are peerless, his peaches are rare. For they grow on a single peach tree in County Kildare. They're the best Irish peaches that you'll find anywhere. Pear maiden, do not despair. Comes a lady to purchase a pear. Oh no, hang on, she's gone to the peach guy.
Oh, okay, that is the end of the show. Thanks for listening. If you were listening. If you weren't listening, go back. Yes, rewind it and try again. If you like this show, maybe you should consider donating some money via Buy Me a Coffee, link in the show notes. And also, you can leave a glowing review on podcast platform of your choice. And why not tell your friend? So do take care, and as always,
Bye for now.